a lot of interest in psychological professions, and any tips or advice on getting work experience, the wheres and the hows for that?
Yeah, I think people get stuck on having to work with a clinical psychologist or counseling psychologist, and actually there's so many other pathways to getting experience. I mentored somebody who then went on to do psychology, and we got her some work for a community organization where she had to interview elderly people, had to have chats with them, had to write a piece of work after having interviewed the various volunteers who supported members of the community. There's a multitude of online courses that you can do in mental health and well-being. A lot of them are free these days. And I would say speak to people, interview people, write up interviews. I had a few other suggestions. If there's any capacity to mentor at school, that's quite a good avenue, or to do a mentoring program. There's also mental health CPR run by some charities. I'm not sure which ones, but I think Mind and the like might have something like that, which is basically ABCs of mental health and well-being. If any of you have an opportunity to do some kind of research project like an EPQ at school, those can be really interesting and also give you a lot to think and talk about, and also help you make decisions about your future, especially if you focus on what you're interested in. There are loads of books and a huge number of podcasts. I'm particularly interested in listening at the moment to the ones on Jungian therapy and dream interpretation, which I think appeals to a lot of teenagers. There's also a lot about diversity and inclusion, and how psychology are making strides in relation to accommodating diversity in the profession. And there's some fantastic podcasts on that. There's loads of stuff on CBT and self-help. There's some interesting books, including if you're particularly interested in neuropsychology, on things like The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat, and other really interesting books like that. In fact, that's what brought me to psychology in the first instance, was a book I read on psychoanalytic psychotherapy that I just loved so much that I went into the profession.
Yeah, I also wanted to add to that, I did a lot of experience outside the NHS too, so like working with victim support. A lot of my friends have helped with like Shout, the helpline. So there's so many different charity organisations that you can get involved with, but a lot of it is voluntary, but the more things you can get stuck into, the better. You'll get so much more experience from working with different people as well.